Yo, what is up guys, Chillfeed here, and it feels so good to be back again and working and playing Borderlands 3 after a while. First of all, thank you guys for sticking around and not unsubscribing. I hope something like this won't happen again in the future, but I just wanted you to know that I had my reasons and that it was not just laziness or whatever. So the trouble I had is now taken care of and I'm finally back working and grinding my way to 5,000 subscribers, starting today again with this video where I just wanted to test out my biggest love since release, which is Zane of course, after the Maliwan Takedown patch that dropped yesterday, and that included a few buffs and changes to his skills and even his action skills, where some of them sound really awesome on paper and some of them still seem to not work properly. And I'm going over all of the new changes in detail so you know exactly what has been changed and how much of an impact this has. And I also have some bonus gameplay on Mayhem mode 4 at the end of the video with my new favorite weapon really for Zane from the Maliwan Takedown, so stick around if you don't want to miss that. One last annoying thing, if you enjoy my content then why not just take a second of your time to leave a like on this video. It would help me out so much since more people are likely to get this recommended, which means more people are likely to watch and then more people are likely to subscribe, so this will just get me closer to do this full time and make even more content for you guys, so it's a win-win, right? But now let's finally jump into the video. Starting it off with the two action skills that both received a damage buff just in a different way, and the Sentinel just got the damage scale increased by 2% per level, which would make it a 100% damage increase at level 50. I hope so at least. Oh my god, I'm so insecure when it comes to calculating because I'm pretty bad at it. Anyway, 100% damage buff at level 50, and I was actually testing the action skills on Mayhem mode 4 for this footage without any augments first, which is the footage you are seeing right now, and then with the Winter's Drone and Bad Dose augment, and as you can see, it did a very decent job for Mayhem mode 4. It did around 1200 damage every hit without any augments equipped and just short of 800 damage with the two augments and some not so good radiation tick damage on top of it. Obviously it's nothing too crazy and it's of course not gonna carry you through the levels with its damage, but in my opinion this is a nice little added damage on top of your gun damage, so overall a good buff in my opinion. What I was going to test for the Digiclone was not really the indirect damage buff from Double Barrel that now gives Zane and his clone 25% increased gun damage instead of 20% after swapping, but rather the added bonus to the skill Quick Breather that according to the patch notes should restore 50% of the Digiclone's max health after every swap. But I don't know if I'm misunderstanding something or if this is just simply not working right now, because every time I swap with my Digiclone literally nothing is happening to his health. So yeah, I think the health regen for the clone would be nice for those who like this action skill if it's actually working, but I'm still not a big fan of the clone, and the reason for that is even though the 25% gun damage for Zane is nice after swapping, I don't like that you can't just give the clone any weapon and he'll be fine. What I mean is that the Maggie in my hands is a pretty good gun, right? But the Digiclone just doesn't even come close to the full potential of the weapon, and it's not worth going down the whole tree for this, and you're also going to be missing out on a bunch of kill skills or even calm, cool and collected if you choose to go down the double agent skill tree instead of the hitman or the undercover skill tree, at least in my opinion. Speaking of some kill skills you would potentially miss out if going with the double agent skill tree and not the hitman tree, there are a few kill skills that received a nice buff since Gearbox decided to let most of the kill skill effects stack twice now. This means that you will receive double the bonus that is listed on the info card after your second kill while your first kill skill is still active. Unfortunately, the kill skills will not be refreshed after your second kill, and your kill skills after your first kill will time out after the standard 8 seconds. Still, it's a nice bonus to have and in my opinion a good fix for some of Zane's kill skills, especially for bonus damage, and it's really noticeable when playing. But first let's go over violent speed real quick, and I'm not too sure if this one works as as intended. I didn't really notice a big difference between having just the standard bonus and the double bonus, which should give you plus 40% movement speed when putting 5 points into it, and it definitely didn't feel twice as fast as before. Maybe this needs some more excessive testing and trying to find out if it really works. Anyways, if it does work and you can pair Violent Momentum with some of the other skills or augments for speed increases, Zane then might not be the fastest when it comes to killing enemies, but he's definitely gonna be the fastest character running away from them. When it comes to cool hands and violent violence, Zane has now the ability to reload and shoot twice as fast as before, so I tested this out with a weapon that has a relatively low fire rate and reload speed, the Crossroad. Not much more to say other than this is honestly quite awesome. When testing the reload speed without cold hands active, it was about 2.55 seconds. After one kill it was about at 2.22 seconds, and then after 2 kills it got down to about 1.79 seconds, which I can tell you on something like the Nighthawk, and you're gonna reload your weapon so unbelievably fast. The fire rate increase from Violent Violence was not really that noticeable when going up from the now normal 15% to 30%, but it was definitely there, so that's nice to have as well. Plus you can even improve on those kill skills with Death Follows Close to increase all of their percentages by 25% and increase the duration by 7 seconds with just one skill point, which is just great in my opinion. What's also great is that with Zane's C in red capstone, you now have the ability to get the kill skills stacked immediately after activating 2 of your action skills, and there is now the awesome Handsome Jack target dummy on Sanctuary 3, where it was a lot easier for me to test the effects of Violent Momentum and Donnybrook for Zane. And as you can see, Violent Momentum does work properly now, add faster movement speeds, and there's a pretty nice damage boost coming with it if you combine it with Violent Speed. It went up from 1230 damage from a laser exploder to 1967 while just walking, and even above 2100 damage without any kill skills activated after just sprinting. And I'm happy to tell you that Donnybrook's stack mechanics also work, and it was one of my favorite skills from the doubled agent skill tree even before the buff. You can now get plus 30% weapon damage and 5% health regeneration after getting just 2 kills, which is just awesome for any build, but especially for a calm, cool and collected build. If you combine that with just one skill point from Confident Confidence, that now got its damage bonus increased from 20% to an amazing 35% at max shields, Zane is now able to get some proper damage boost, and I think that Gearbox did a pretty good job with buffing Zane. Keep in mind that with the right build and playstyle he can be pretty much unkillable for mobbing as well, so pretty nice. And even if you don't run a calm, cool and collected build to constantly refresh your action skill cooldown and duration, you can now equip Borrowed Time, which was already good before with an 15% increased action skill duration per active action skill, which is now also doubled to get an additional 60% action skill duration after activating both action skills. This would increase the duration from around 24-25 seconds of the drone up to about 32 seconds with just one action skill active, and up to 37 seconds when both action skills are active. Another nice bonus Zane got comes from the changes to a skill I never really used before, which is Trick of the Light, that before gave you an 18% increased shock damage to enemies that aren't targeting you. Now the percentage has again been doubled to 36% damage, and instead of shock damage, you now deal additional cryo damage, which I can only imagine works quite nice in co-op or with Zane's clone active. The last thing that was changed is something that was already pretty fun before, is the skill Pocket Full of Grenades. That should now be twice as fun if you manage to get 2 kills to stack the kill skill, which would double the grenade regeneration rate from now 15% to 30% per second. That's about it for all the changes Zane has received to his action skills. I think all of those changes are great, and after testing this on Mayhem mode 3 and 4 with many of those changed skills active, I'm pretty satisfied with Zane's plays right now, and I'm having even more fun playing with him. I'm really curious about what you think about it, so let me know down in the comment section below what your opinion is on Zane's buffs. And as promised, here's some gameplay of my new favorite weapon for Zane, which is the Kipsworth, and in my case it's the eviscerating mocking Kipsworth. And this thing reminds me very much of the interfacer shotgun from Borderlands 2 with the way it shoots its projectiles. It can come with any element and does amazing damage. I was lucky enough that I have a subscriber who sent me this awesome weapon with cryo and fire element in my Discord server, which by the way you should totally join if you want a nice place to find some new friends to play the takedown with, to trade some of the new and cool legendaries, or even just to hang out with all the nice and cool people that already joined. I've been talking to a lot of them and it's been an amazing experience for me. I have a channel for pretty much everything there, so make sure to check out the link in the description and my pinned comment if you want to join. Back to the weapon though, I was using this on Mayhem 4 in the footage, and as you can see it did a pretty good job considering the insane plus 800% health increase and plus 1000% armor and shield increase for your enemies. I was using the exact same build I uploaded about a month ago, which is even better now with all the changes and the Rough Rider shield being fixed to make use of the depleted shield bonuses. And I've had just so much fun with it. I don't know yet how good the healing aura is that spawns after killing an enemy every 10 seconds, but it sounds like a nice little feature from the weapon itself. Unfortunately, you can only get this weapon from Wotan the Invincible, which is the new end boss from the Takedown event, and it has to be on Mayhem mode 4 too, which is a pretty hard challenge, even on Mayhem mode 3 sometimes. But yeah, that's it for me now guys. I hope you enjoyed this video or found it even helpful. If you did, make sure to leave a like right now and subscribe to my channel for more stuff like this in the future. And with that being said, I see you in my next video.